morning, second graders, and welcome to language class. This morning you will need a blank piece of paper. It doesn't have to be very big, but something that you can write 4 words on. Just 4 words. So if you don't have that with you, then go ahead and get a blank piece of paper. Alright, so to begin this morning, we're going to start by reviewing a few words that sound the same, but have different spellings, and they mean different things. So up here we have right and right. We have R-I-G-H-T, right, and we have W-R-I-T-E, right. So what does R-I-G-H-T mean? Which right is that? That is right. My right hand, I write with my right hand, or I will go to the right. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the left. All right, so that's R-I-G-H-T is right hand. The direction. W-R-I-T is I'm going to write a letter. I will write a letter to my mother, or I will write the answer to the math problem. R-I-T-E means to write something on a piece of paper or to communicate by writing. All right, and then we have B-L-U-E and B-L-E-W. Both say blue. So B-L-U-E is the color blue. I have a blue ruler. And B-L-E-W is blue. I blew out my candles at my birthday party. Blue. One way you could remember that, which one? B-L-E-W. See how it ends with a W? Wind starts with a W, and when you blow, it's like wind. Okay, so I blew wind. There's one way you could remember that. B-L-E-W is I blew out my candles. B-L-U-E is the color blue. Okay, now is when you need your piece of scrap paper. So have that and a pencil ready. And I have 2 markers in my hand. Why do I have 2 markers in my hand? I don't need 2 markers. Okay, so for the first, what I want you to do is write, I have a root word plus a suffix. A suffix is a letter or a group of letters that we add to the end of a word to change its meaning. This is the root word on this side. This is the suffix on this side. So one rule to remember when you're writing these words is that if a word ends with a silent E, then you need to drop the silent E before you add a suffix that starts with a vowel. Okay? So if a root word ends with a silent E, drop the E before you add a suffix that begins with a vowel. So go ahead and write down the first word, whistle plus ED. You would write down whistled. Okay, go ahead and write down whistled. All right, so here's the word whistled. We have W-H-I-S-T-L, and whistle ends with a silent E, and the suffix begins with a vowel. So we need to drop our silent E and then add the suffix. So there we have the word whistled. Okay? And if you got it right, why don't you whistle? Okay? All right, the second one, soft plus L-Y. Go ahead and write soft plus L-Y. Softly. Write that on your paper. Okay, here is the correct way to write that one. We have softly. Okay, we don't have to change anything about that one. We just add the suffix and we have the word softly. So the little girl tiptoed softly. across the carpet. Okay, now we have the word shriek. Shriek. IE says E in shriek. So, shriek plus ing equals shrieking. Go ahead and write the word shrieking. Okay, here's the word shrieking. We write the root word, I-E-K, and we don't have to change anything. We just add I-N-G. So the girls were shrieking with laughter. All right, and the last one, fierce. Fierce plus E-S-T, fiercest. Go ahead and write the word fiercest. The black wolf was the fiercest wolf. Okay, here's the word fiercest. F-I-E-R-C. Fierce ends with a silent E, and our suffix begins with a vowel. So drop the silent E and then add E-S-T. Fiercest. Good. All right. Now, what is a word that rhymes with snake? Think of any words? Snake, make, cake. Okay, and some words that rhyme with dark. Dark. How about lark? The bird. Lark. Dark. Stark. Ooh, there's a word. It's a fun word. Okay, and some words that rhyme with wing. Wing. Sing. Fling. Fling the hammer to the side. Okay, just don't let the hammer hit anyone. So, those are some rhyming words. Now, you guys have been learning about dictionaries, okay? I still have this yellow dictionary here. At my house, we had a fat red dictionary. So they are different colors and different styles, okay? So, dictionaries tell us about words. And there are some things that we want to review this morning about dictionaries. So a dictionary can tell us how to spell a word. It can tell us how to say a word correctly. And it can tell us what a word means. And it can also tell us what part of speech that a word is. A dictionary can tell us if the word coyote is a noun or an adjective or an adverb. Okay, so a dictionary can tell us all that stuff. And a dictionary can also give us example sentences so that we know how to use the word in a sentence. Okay? Now, the words that we find in a dictionary are called entries. I'm going to write that up here. So here's a sample dictionary page. We're going to pretend here's our dictionary, and this is a sample page. So all the words that we find in the dictionary and on that page are called entries or entry words. Okay? Now, entries are in ABC order. So we have S-E-A-A, S-E-A-C, S-E-A-F, S-E-A-L. See how the fourth letter, we had to go by the fourth letter. And the fourth letter, first three letters are all the same. So we have to look at the fourth letter. And those are all in alphabetical order. A, C, F, L. See, they're all in A, B, C order. So at the top of every page, we have guide words. So up here, sometimes you'll have guide words words, like in my dictionary, I have at the top of the page, I have a guide word on this side of the page, and I have a guide word on this side of the page. But in this sample here, we have our guide words up here. So the one on the left side shows what our first entry word will be. And the guide word on the right side shows what our very last entry word on that page will be. Okay? So these are called guide words. The guide words tell us the first and last word, first and last entry word on the page. Okay. Now, pronunciation. Dictionaries can tell us pronunciation. That's a big word. But what it means, it tells us how to say a word, how to pronounce a word. So a dictionary, they'll show words and they might have little markings like this and this. Remember those kinds of markings? And they tell us how to say the word. Okay? Dictionaries can tell us parts of speech. We've said that already. So go ahead and go to page 313 if you're not there yet. 313. And we're going to work that page through together. So I want you to follow along carefully. So this here, this sample, is what is on page 313. Now, I don't have everything written in because that would have been a lot of things to write. So I wrote up here, I wrote the page number. Okay, see it's the same as what your example is on page 313. So up here, here's the page number. Over here, sea anemone. Sorry, I keep forgetting how to say that word. Sea anemone. Sea anemone. I want to say it wrong. Sea anemone is our first guide word, and if you look over here, sea anemone is our first entry word. So that shows, first guide word shows the first entry word on the page. And then we have seaman as our last guide word, or our last entry, and we can't even see it because this isn't the full page. Okay, so for numbers 1, 2, and 3 on page 313, we're going to go through and answer some questions using our dictionary page. So you might need to look in your book to find some of these answers because I don't have everything written up here. So let's go to number 1, and here's the directions. Look at the above dictionary page. Mark the circle next to the correct answers. The word seafaring is a noun, verb, or adjective. So look up at the dictionary page in your book. Seafaring is the third entry word, and beside it, it will say if it's a noun, a verb, or an adjective. So what does it say? Okay, so if I look at seafaring, right beside it, it says adjective. That's the next word, right beside seafaring. So color in the circle next to adjective. The word seafaring is an adjective. Okay, the word seal is a noun, verb, or adjective. So find the word seal up here. Is it a noun, verb, or adjective? Seal is a noun. So we look, little word right next to seal is noun. So color in the circle next to noun. Okay, now let's move on to section 2. Write the answer. Which word means land along the sea? So go up and read your definitions. The definition tells you what the word means. So read the definitions. Which word means land along the sea? be able to know it without even reading, huh? So we look up at, let's see, it says sea anemone is a sea animal with a flexible tube. It's a sea animal. That doesn't sound like land. What about sea coast? Land along the sea, sure enough. So write sea coast in that first blank on number 2. Land along the sea is the sea coast. All right, the second one on number 2 for our second blank. Which word means earning one's living at sea? So look back up at your dictionary page. Which word means earning one's living at sea? So we know it's not that sea anemone, it's an animal thing. If the sea coast is the land, what about seafaring? What does it mean? Earning one's living at sea. Well, there you go. So the word that means earning one's living at sea is seafaring. So that is the word, your answer for your second blank that you need to fill in. Seafaring. Okay, number 3. Mark the circle next to the correct answer. What sound does the last E in sea anemone make? What sound does the last E make? Is it silent or does it say something? Does it say F or E? So what you can do, now write it up here on the board. If you look up at the definition, the entry for sea anemone, they have, towards the bottom of it, they have this. They have the upside down E, which says and then they have nem, they have a short vowel mark, and that means that we say the accent is part of the word. Anem, knee. Okay, do y'all see that on your entry page? Anemone. So what does the last E in anemone, what sound does it make? It makes a long E sound. Okay, so we can use the dictionary to learn how to spell a word. So I was trying to figure out if I should say coyote or coyote. So I looked it up in the dictionary, and you can actually say it both ways. But I use the dictionary to help me see how to say the word. So for number 3, for your first question, the last E in sea anemone makes the E sound, the long E sound. So go ahead and circle that one or color it in. Okay, the second question in number 3. Which animal lives in coastal waters? Which animal lives in coastal waters? So does the sea anemone live in coastal waters? Let's see. Sea animal with a flexible tube-shaped body and a mouth opening that is surrounded by many flower-like tentacles. It doesn't say anything about coastal waters. So what other animal is listed on the page? We have seal. Okay, a sea mammal that lives in coastal waters and has soft, thick fur and flippers. So for the second question on number 3, our answer is seal, okay? And we learned that by looking at the dictionary page. Now, the third question, look at the guide words. What is the last word on this dictionary page? So remember which guide word tells us the last word on the page? Sea anemone is the first word. Seaman is the last word on the page. Okay, so here's a little assignment for you. If you have a dictionary at home, I would like you to find the word duck, okay? You go see if you can find the word duck. And you don't even have to tell me, but maybe show your mom or your dad if you can find the word duck in the dictionary. Okay, so y'all can, you have your dictation left on this page. I'll go ahead and tell you your dictation. And then if you'd rather have your mom tell it to you again later, that's fine. So here is your dictation. Remember the special sound G in giant Okay, if a G is followed by an I or an E, it says J. So G in giant and L-E in little. L-E says ul in little. Okay, here is your sentence for dictation. Gentle Hannah is just kind. Gentle Hannah is just kind. Remember that if a G is followed by an I or an E, it says J. Gentle Hannah is just kind. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.